Thank you for joining on our live information session for environmental science. My name is Aaron Stoller. I am an assistant professor of environmental science at Stockton University. If you're joining in on Facebook, could you please just in the chat box, just give me your name and where you are coming from, either in the state of Jersey or elsewhere. And maybe tell me what you are interested in studying, and maybe I can address it. The way that this is going to work is there's going to be a little bit of a delay if you're tuning in on Facebook. I'm actually live streaming this from Zoom, which is then streaming it to Facebook. So there's a little bit of a delay in whether or not I'm going to be able to see your comments. So please just give me whatever comments you have in the chat box on Facebook, and I will address them. I'm paying attention to them, and I can easily see what kinds of questions that you have. So again, please just send me your name. You don't have to give me your full name if you don't want to. Just your first name is fine. Tell me where you're coming from. You don't have to give me a specific address, just a general location, and what you're interested in. Thank you, Karina. I see that you're interested in becoming a marine biologist. Great, that lets me know, so I can just give a shout out to the marine biology program at Stockton so you can get a little bit more information on that as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you guys a short presentation on, on the environmental science program at Stockton, both of our Bachelor's of Science and our Bachelor's of Arts program. And then I'll open it up for questions. So thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're just signing on, please just give me your first name and where you're coming from in Jersey, and what you're interested in studying. If I occasionally check my phone, it's just so I can monitor other messages coming in. And yeah, thank you again for tuning in. So let's get started here. Before I jump into the specific details of our program, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a sense for what our classrooms look like. We are environmental science, meaning that we study the environment, and so a lot of our classes are outside. We try really hard to get students outside as much as possible. Of course, coronavirus during this time is throwing a little bit of a challenge our way, although we can talk about that a little bit later if anyone would like me to address how we are dealing with coronavirus next semester, and how we're dealing with social distancing. So this is just an example. This is actually literally right outside of our building. These are students from last semester. I can actually tell you half their names because that's how familiar we are with our students. This is not my class. This is somebody else's class, so I can only tell you half their names. If this was my class, I could tell you all of their names. So these students are learning how to do surveys, learning how to use a compass, learning how to guide themselves in the field. We have students that go out to one of our several lakes on campus. This is another student that is working in Emma Witt's hydrology class, and of course they happened to find a turtle, so they had to take a picture with it. We have a few different species of turtles on campus, and it's pretty easy to find them. We have students, this is another from our hydrology class or physical geography class, where they're learning how to measure stream flow over time. So we have state-of-the-art equipment for you to use, and we get you out in the field. We have waders for you to loan out for the class, and you can get yourself into water. If going out in nature isn't necessarily your jam, well, we have other classes for you as well, although you are definitely going to have to get a little dirty during your time studying environmental science, no matter what. We are located in the Pine Barrens, so of course we have a forest ecologist who studies burning, forest fire burns in the Pine Barrens, which, as many of you know, is essential to the Pine Barrens ecology. And so we have a huge campus where we actively burn and experiment with burning on campus. We have students that participate in this. Of course, it has to be done in conjunction with the fire department. And so they come on out and help us, and they give us all kinds of safety gear and equipment. We have students that are taking measurements. We have a environmental science planner, which is a field of understanding how we can sustainably plan our use of the environment. And so we are living very close to Atlantic City, which is in the background, and you can see that these students are working on a protected marsh in Forsyth, where they are setting up osprey nests. We also have the ability to go out on kayaks. I actually think that this is in Greece. We did a study abroad trip in Greece where the students got kayaks out and are planning a day trip out in the water. This environmental planner also takes students out to see coal-fired power plants as well as nuclear plants. We have several in the area, although unfortunately the nuclear power plant near us kind of just went offline. So I don't think that we're going to be able to take that trip anymore. But of course, that is a very important component of environmental planning, is understanding how we can sustainably use energy. So we take students out there as well. I know that I take students out to landfills to study how we recycle. I know that I take students out to wastewater treatment plants. We try to get students out as much as possible. We have soil ecologists that actively study soil ecology and soil chemistry in the Pine Barrens. So this is a picture of a student taking samples for class. And I can talk a little bit more about that later. And then, of course, we also have quite a bit of in-class lecture, and we have some state-of-the-art classrooms. I know this doesn't look like much, but these computers are chock full of state-of-the-art technology like ArcGIS, which is what is used by professionals in the field. And so we spend a lot of time in the classroom. Our classroom sizes are small, as many of you know, for Stockton. That is one of the key selling points, is that we have small classroom sizes. Students become very familiar with their professors. The classrooms, especially the computer labs, are usually open to students 24/7 for the students to work on projects, to do group work, etc. So let me just quickly tell you a little bit about our program. And again, if you are just signing on, it looks like we have about 8 people on the live stream right now. And if you are just signing on, please just give me your first name, where you're coming from in Jersey, what your interest is at Stockton, and maybe I can better help you with your personal interests here in the conversation that we're going to have. If you're tuning in on Facebook, again, there's a little bit of a delay. No problem at all. I'm monitoring the comment section. All right, so one of our hallmarks of our environmental science program at Stockton is that we are heavily engaged in career guidance development. I say to all of my students, my job at Stockton as an educator, as an advisor, my job is to get rid of you. All right, and I say that with all of the love, right? If I don't get rid of you, I haven't done my job. My job is to make sure that you get a job in the field. I don't want you sticking around at Stockton and then disgruntled with it afterwards because you weren't able to get a job in the field. I want you to get a job. So to that end, we try to train you as much as possible on what you need to get that career. We are very heavily fieldwork oriented. We try to get you out in the field as much as possible. We spend your tuition money on the most up-to-date equipment. I can tell you, like I can really tell you where your tuition money goes to. I can tell you that it went to $3,000 last semester, went to buying freshwater gear for one of my classes to study lakes. I can tell you how much our licenses for software programs cost. Like, we use your money to get you the best tools, the ones that you will be using out in the field, okay? As part of our program, we also require that you do an internship. I tell all of my students that you need to do an internship. There's no doubt about it. You absolutely need to do at least one internship, preferably more than one internship. As I tell all of my students, you're not in college to get a job per se, you're in college to get an internship. Those internships get you the job later on, all right? So the GPA that you have at college, the classes that you take in college, those are all great. Those are all designed to get you a great internship. The internships are then what get you the job afterwards. And anyone working in the field can back me up on this, hands down, all right? We bring in guest speakers. We engage you in community projects. Next semester, we're actually talking about engaging one of the local townships in a community project to study harmful algal blooms. I'll talk a little bit about this dual BS PSM degree in a little bit. Essentially, this is a degree where you can get a master's degree, a professional master's degree with just a little bit of extra time. And most importantly, it's a great place to study environmental science because we are really strongly known in the area for having great environmental science students. We try to train students as much as possible, and we train them as much as possible so that we continue that reputation. Great, looks like people are introducing themselves, fantastic. Again, in case you didn't hear, I'm an assistant professor of environmental science at Stockton. To introduce the other faculty members, we have essentially we have 8 faculty, but we include Jeff Weber on this because he co-teaches a lot of the classes in environmental science. And I should add too to this that we have many adjuncts that teach with us as well. We also have Dr. Rocky Severs. Rocky is not his actual name, but everybody calls him that. That also teaches geology. So Dr. Cherenje teaches environmental chemistry. He's the guy that you'll go to if you're interested in studying pollution, chemical pollution, air quality, water quality, etc. Dr. Wei-Hong Fan is the person that you'll go to if you're interested in looking at geographic information systems and working a little bit more on the computer end of things. Dr. Favorito is a relatively new hire along with myself. We both came in about 3 years ago. Dr. Favorito studies soil chemistry, soil science. You will go to her if you're interested in studying soils. Dr. Dan Moscovici, everybody just calls him Dr. Dan, is our environmental planner. You'll go to him if you're interested in green infrastructure, sustainable planning, how you do environmental planning for a local township, which is a very heavily sought after field. Myself, Dr. Aaron Stoller, you just call me Aaron. Nobody calls me doctor unless it's my wife and she's angry at me. I study freshwater ecology as well as general ecology. So if you're interested in looking at lakes and streams and rivers, you're gonna take some classes with me. Dr. Catherine Tredick is our wildlife ecologist. If you're interested in studying population management of deer, of squirrels, of bears, etc., you'll go to her. Dr. Witt is Emma Witt is our hydrologist. Dr. Olson is a brand new hire. He's been here for about a year. He studies forest ecology. And so he's the one that you'll go to if you're interested in forest management, looking at burn controls, silviculture. And then we have Dr. Jeff Weber, who is our geologist, along with Dr. Rocky Severs. And then we have several very gifted adjunct faculty. Most importantly, I think every single student calls these teachers by their first name. We're very personable. We get to know all of our students. We try really hard to interact one-on-one with you and bring you into our own research. We all do active research. We're all interested in bringing students in. For example, I do some work on microplastic pollution, as well as biodiversity and ecosystem functioning systems. We all collaborate on grants. Dr. Jessica Favorito and myself and Matt Olson are all working on a project to look at maple syrup production in South Jersey. So we're all interacting with each other. It's a very friendly group. I can actually say it's far more friendly than other universities that I've worked at. Other universities, there's a lot of standoffishness. People tend to isolate themselves in bubbles. We're not. We all interact with each other very heavily, and the students kind of mimic that. One of the great selling points of Stockton is that we have 1,600 acres of pine barrens forest. All right, the campus itself occupies another 400-ish acres, but we have 1,600 acres of pine barrens. It is a great place to be an environmental scientist. It's unlike any other campus that I've worked at, and I've worked at 5 other campuses. Your laboratory, your outdoor laboratory, is right outside your door. Literally, I take my classes on a 5-minute hike and we are deeply embedded into the forest. It is an amazing place to study. I can take anybody on a 5-minute hike and get you to any kind of ecosystem. It's a wonderful place to work. In previous institutions, I was at the University of Pittsburgh, I was at Rensselaer Polytechnic. We had at least a half an hour drive to our field site, and it was just kind of inconvenient. Here, literally is right outside of our door. My office is actually just a 1-minute walk away from Lake Fred, which is the largest lake on our campus. We have 3 major lakes: Lake Pam, Lake Fred, which is the one that you can see in this picture, and then we have an older pond that was developed as a result of the Garden State Parkway being created. That's on the southeastern part of campus. That is far less studied, but it's there nonetheless. It's a great place for tree frogs and fish. We also happen to have an organic farm on the southeast part of campus and, the southwest part of campus, and an arboretum, which is a fancy word for a place where we store trees. So if you're interested in forest ecology, the arboretum is a great place where you can look at different species of trees. One really cool thing we have in the arboretum, we actually collected cedar seedlings from all across the East Coast and planted them in one central location, so we can look at how cedar trees from all over the East Coast grow in New Jersey. We have state-of-the-art geographic information systems labs with state-of-the-art technology. We just developed a new unified science center, which has great technology in it, as well as this brand new greenhouse, which, shout out to my live stream. I'm doing a live stream tomorrow where we're going to go on a tour of the new greenhouse. We have a campus in Atlantic City now, although I will say we don't do a whole lot of teaching in Atlantic City as far as the environmental science program is concerned. But as a freshman living on campus, you will probably live at least once on Atlantic City's campus. It's a short drive, although again, coronavirus is kind of changing that a little bit right now. All right, there's lots of clubs for you to get engaged in. We have Stockton Action Volunteers for the Environment, which does a lot of cool things. They do a lot of activism on campus. They also do some gardening on campus. Most importantly, they just have fun. They send students off on beekeeping training sessions. They do whale watching trips. They do all sorts. They invite all kinds of speakers in. It's very easy for you to get engaged. We also have the Environmental Club, which does a few movie showings, brings other speakers to campus. Water Watch does water rights justice for the state of New Jersey. We also have the Sustainability Trust and the Geology Club. If you're interested in joining those, you can join all 4 of these if you would like to. Tammy, GIS is not, well, I'll get to that in a second. Thank you, Tammy. I'll chime into that. So as far as the courses that you are required to take as part of the environmental science program, all right, we have environmental science courses, general science courses, and then general liberal arts courses. General science courses, as being an environmental science major, you are required to take general biology, you are required to take chemistry 1, you are required to take calc 1, you are required to take an upper level chemistry course, either organic chemistry or advanced general chemistry, and then you're required to take physics or physical geology. That is if you are a bachelor's of science major. We also offer a bachelor's of arts major, which is designed to tailor the education experience to students who are more interested in working with the public on environmental issues. I want to make this very clear right now. The Bachelor's of Science degree is designed if you are interested in working on research topics in an environmental situation that is generally apart from human activities. If you're interested, for example, in studying freshwater ecology and how pollution affects freshwater ecology, affects fish, you're talking about a bachelor's of science. If you're interested in studying, bear or deer management in the state of New Jersey, you might be interested in a bachelor's of science. If you're interested in environmental planning, in working with the public on environmental issues, you might be more interested in a bachelor's of arts degree. So for example, if you're interested in urban planning, or if you're interested in green infrastructure. That might be a bachelor's of arts, okay? And we differentiate between these two because in a bachelor's of science, you have less hard science classes to take. So you don't have to take calculus, you just have to take pre-calc. And you don't have to take advanced chemistry, you just have to take chemistry 1. And you don't have to take physics or physical geology, you can substitute in for macroeconomics or microeconomics. A lot of our BA students are looking to start their own consulting business, and so economics is a useful course for them to take. And then you have to take a few more additional courses in the general liberal arts studies category. As far as environmental science program courses, you are required to take Introduction to Environmental Science. You're required to take Physical Geography, which is the study of how the land shapes organisms and how the land shapes ecological cycles. Ecological Principles, which is the study of interactions between organisms and their environment. Statistical Analysis of Ecological Systems. It is not a hard math course. Statistics is a language that we speak in science to keep us honest. It's more of a philosophy course about how we do science. And you are required to take the environmental seminar in your second year at Stockton. The environmental seminar is a 1-credit course that we developed in response to students who said, look, we need to know how to write a cover letter. We need to know how to apply to jobs. We need to know what kinds of jobs are out there. So the environmental seminar is you meet once every 2 weeks and you get speakers in, you're required to develop a website, you're required to develop a cover letter. We essentially hold your hand and show you how to apply for jobs and what kinds of jobs are out there. We have several different concentrations that you can focus in on. For example, we have planning and GIS, we have forestry, wildlife, soil science, hydrology, environmental quality, education, if you're interested in K through 12 education. You don't have to be any of these concentrations. But if you would like a little bit of guidance in terms of what classes you should be taking, we recommend that you take one of these concentrations, and that way you have a little bit more guidance in terms of, well, I should be taking these classes if I want a job in this particular concentration. As far as your upper level courses, if you are a bachelor's of science student, you are required to take 4 upper level courses. If you are a bachelor's of arts students, you are only required to take 3 upper level classes. And by upper level, I mean more specialized courses like ecological forest management, freshwater ecology, geographic information systems or advanced GIS, hydrology, soil ecology, that kind of stuff, more specialized classes. And then you are also required to take 1 class called our capstone class, which goes over a broad array of environmental science topics. It is designed to escort you out of our program and into the field. All right. I did say that we require students to have internships. Those internships can be conducted on or off campus. I always suggest that students try to find an internship off campus. Students have worked in a variety of different places such as the Wetland Institute, such as the Philadelphia Zoo. We had a few students working at the Cape May Zoo. They work for various townships. Students have gotten internships all over the place. I actually just have one student who's working in Alaska right now. I had another student working in Purdue. And when I say I had a student, I mean students that were working in my lab on campus, in my freshwater ecology lab on campus. I helped find internships with them, and they applied and they got those internships. And now they're working out in the field. Some of those internships, unfortunately, have been canceled this summer due to coronavirus. However, actually, some are also still going on, and we're going to continue trying to find internships for students, continue encouraging students to apply for internships. And again, these internships really do help students get jobs in the field after they leave with us. Many times, the places that students intern with are the places that hire them afterwards. We send students all over the place to do these internships, not just in the United States, but we also send students abroad as much as possible. We have students that are working all over the world. This is occurring more and more as students are learning to kind of ditch their stay-at-home mentality and travel outside of their comfort zone. So we send students all over the world as much as we can. We do have study abroad courses. These are different from if you would like to study abroad for a semester. These are single courses where you spend the semester training for that course, and then you actually go abroad with that class for 2 weeks during the off semester season. So for example, Dr. Wei Hong Fan has taken students to China. Dr. Chirenje has taken students to Brazil. Moscovici takes students to the Adirondack Park every once in a while. No, sorry, every year he takes students to the Adirondack Park and Preserve. He also takes students to Greece, that last one on the list. Moscovici has also taken students to Latin America. Chirenje has taken students to Ecuador. Dr. Favorito takes students on a soil judging trip to, I don't understand how you judge soils. That's her thing. I'm a freshwater ecologist. I don't usually deal with soils, so I don't really know what that is, but apparently students love it and they have a lot of fun. I am trying to get a trip to Costa Rica underway. As I tell all of my students, yes, these trips do cost some money, but over the course of your college career, you are going to be spending money for a lot of classes that you don't want to take. These are classes that I guarantee you do want to take. And honestly, the cost of these classes is really a drop in the bucket. And 2 weeks in the field is worth 2 years in the classroom. Really, get yourself out of the classroom, get yourself out of Jersey and do stuff in the larger environment. I spent 4 months in Costa Rica and I learned more during those 4 months than I will learn in my entire life. I highly encourage all of my students to get out of their comfort zone, take internships, do these classes, go abroad. All right, now, just a quick, we're almost at the end and I will take questions in a second. But I do want to just have a shout out for our Accelerated Professional Science Master's Program. So the purpose of this program is to provide students with an advantage in the environmental field. You get a leg up in the resume pool. You obtain specific skills that are needed by higher level professionals. Usually when you graduate with a bachelor's of science or a bachelor's of arts degree, you get a job. It may not be the best paying job in the world, but you gain experience and then you get promoted gradually over time. The professional science master's degree is designed, or PSM for short, by the way, is designed to give students a fast track to a better paying job, all right? Most students know nowadays that you kind of have to get a master's after you graduate. Well, there's 2 types of masters. There's a thesis master's, which is where you do research with somebody and you write papers. That's not a professional degree. A professional degree is one where you take classes, advanced classes. You don't really do a whole lot of research, but you take advanced classes where you learn very specific skills needed by professionals in the field. We developed this master's degree with by listening to consultants from New Jersey and surrounding states, asking them what they desire most from their excellent employees. And so we developed a curriculum that will give students that advanced degree. Your core classes in this include ecosystem ecology, professional writing, applied GIS, land use planning, project management. You do a little bit of research just to get a feeling for what it's like to do that research. You do this, if you are an incoming freshman, you only spend 1 extra year and you get your professional master's degree. Normally, if you do a master's degree, it takes you an additional 2 years. Here, we run you on a fast track. And so you spend 4 years getting your undergraduate degree, You do a little bit of the professional science master's coursework during those 4 years. You graduate with an undergraduate degree, and then you spend 1 additional year getting your PSM degree, okay? It is a very affordable program. It's one of the most affordable programs in the country. It's definitely the most affordable PSM program in the state. I know that Rowan and Rutgers offer similar programs, but it is by far the most affordable program in the state. Although it's not tailored for everybody, we focus a little bit more on environmental quality management and less so on wildlife management, whereas Rutgers might offer a little bit more in terms of wildlife management. All right, it's definitely adaptable for transfer students. It's not for everybody. I am actually the advisor for the program, so if you come to Stockton and you are interested in working on this, we will work together to tailor that degree. Now, before I end, I also just want to give a shout out to 2 closely related majors that we have at Stockton, which are sustainability and geology. Sustainability is a major primarily for students who are interested in agricultural and energy sustainability technology, for example, solar energy, wind energy, or if you're interested in agricultural sustainability, we have an organic farm where you can play around to your heart's content. We also have geology, which is a separate major. They're primarily for students interested in earth processes. We overlap a lot in those courses. Both of those majors also have minors that you can complete while completing an environmental science major. So you can be an environmental science major as well as a sustainability minor. It will not take you an extra year or anything to do that. You can do that within the 4-year span. I should also mention that environmental science has a minor that can be completed while completing a geology major or a sustainability major. All right. And with that, that's all I've got. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to open it up to questions from the audience on Facebook. So anybody that has a question, please just type it in. Let me take a look at what people have posted. Hi, Karina. Philip Kaplan from Little Egg Harbor. Nice to have you on. Gina from, I never know how to pronounce that, Mount Ephraim. I'm not from New Jersey originally. Interested in wildlife biology, that's great. Tammy and graduated in 81 or 82, not sure, with a Mars degree. Fantastic to have you on, Tammy. Happy to say still working for the NJDEP after 35 years. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Stephen Kramer from Cedar Creek High School Environmental Science, senior in fall. Nice to have you on. And we have, oh, and Tammy says GIS should be a required course. Tammy, I do agree with you that GIS should be a required skill. We don't offer GIS as a separate required course. We do now integrate a lot of GIS work inside our physical geography class, all right? So you will, whether you like it or not, you will learn GIS skills and you will learn ArcGIS. It's just, you won't specialize in it until you get to the more advanced classes. Karina says, since I want to become a marine biologist, do you think it would affect me if I'm doing environmental science at OCC? I plan on transferring to Stockton. Karina, no. I don't think so at all. I do think that you should follow up with some of the marine science professors. Dr. Elizabeth Lacey is a great person to talk to on that, or Christine Thompson. I don't know if they're doing their own information sessions, but you should definitely follow up and see if you can have a chat with any one of the professors there. I know they'd be more than happy to talk with you. But a transfer student coming into Stockton is just as likely to succeed as any other student. And you know, college is expensive, and I think that Stockton offers a great education. I really do. But if you want to start off at OCC or Atlantic Community College, if you want to start off at any of those community colleges, by all means, do it. When you come to Stockton, we will accept you with open arms and we will train you as best as we possibly can. and you will definitely, definitely be prepared for getting a job in the field. If you're interested in marine biology, however, I would strongly recommend that you become a marine biologist, that you focus on the marine biology major, all right? And you can get an environmental science minor along the way, and that will help. I will say that a lot of marine biology students do get an environmental science minor, or a lot of environmental science students get a marine science minor. And the reason is because the skills overlap a lot, the classes overlap a lot, and depending upon what you want to do, you know, if you're interested in studying straight up oceanography, marine science is your way to go. But if you're interested in studying coastal conservation or coastal ecology, I strongly recommend that you also think about environmental science, because a lot of the skills apply from environmental science as well. We don't offer things like marine fisheries in environmental science, whereas marine biology does. Gina asks, or says, I am also a community college student at RCBC studying biology, considering becoming a transfer student. Gina, I absolutely encourage you to come on to Stockton. We really do have a great program. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, if I can answer any specific details, please do. Yeah, any other questions that I can answer? Don't be afraid. No question is stupid. I promise you, I've asked enough of them in my life. Hopefully people are commenting a little bit. Again, if you have not done so, please give me just your first name and where you're coming in from, where you're interested in, why you're interested in Stockton. Just at the very least, give me your first name, just so that we know kind of who was on this live stream. I will also say, concerning coronavirus, it is a real thing, and so let's just deal with it up front. What are we doing? The short answer is we don't know yet what we're doing. We're waiting for guidance and advice from Governor Murphy regarding what we can legally do. We are planning for kinds of all sorts of contingency plans. So we're planning on fully online classes, hybridized classes, and going entirely in-person classes. We don't yet know what we're going to be doing. I know that I do live Zoom classes. Well, last semester when we had to shut down, I still conducted all of my classes as normal, but through Zoom. We had a lot of fun. I actually did my ecology lab through Zoom. I asked students to go find some places around them to do some lab work. You know, the great thing about environmental science is that you don't have to be in a laboratory to do the work. So I can ask you to just kind of go out to your backyard and do some of that work, or go find a stream. I certainly hope that we can bring students to campus, but it's a big unknown. We are definitely going to have classes. There's no doubt about that. Definitely going to have classes, and every single professor is striving as hard as they possibly can to give you the best education possible. We are striving to not change any of our pedagogical goals. We are striving to give you the best that we possibly can. Stephen asks, would Stockton be a good place for me to start? I think absolutely yes. If you would like to come into Stockton from the start, you know, we love to have students start with us because we can train you as we would like to train you from the very start. I taught an intro to environmental science for several years. I currently teach ecological principles and statistics, and those are all the freshman and sophomore classes. I know from working and talking with people that we offer really thorough classes. We offer really thorough, really in-depth classes. I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I like to think that we offer a better class in those subjects than community colleges might. I mean, if I didn't think that, I wouldn't be working at Stockton. And I do think it is a great place to start. But it's up to you. It's your personal preference. We would love to have you, whether you're a transfer student or not. Other questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. Well, if there's any questions that anybody has, please feel free to comment on them after the session is over, or you can also email me. My name is Aaron Stoller. You can look me up on Stockton's website, get my email, get my contact info. I'm more than happy to chat individually with anybody. Karina asks, I know Stockton is very heavy with environmental science. Do you think it is the best place to study marine bio? Karina, I cannot speak specifically for the marine biology program because I'm not a marine biology professor, although I do personally think that our marine science program is absolutely amazing. We have a full Stockton marine field station. We have several boats that we take students out on. We have an enormous amount of gear. We do take students out all of the time. It is a wonderful place to study marine biology. Unlike many other schools in New Jersey, we are right next to the ocean. We are 15 minutes away from Forsyth Wildlife Refuge. We are a 10-minute drive away from our marine field station. We take students out all of the time. It is a wonderful place to study. The professors in marine science are young. They're my age. They are really eager to help everybody out. And yeah, I really do think it is a wonderful place to study marine biology. If you're thinking about other universities, I'm not going to diss other universities. I think that other universities do offer some great programs. But as far as universities in New Jersey go, I really do think that Stockton offers the best place to study marine biology and the best place that will give you an career opportunity in it. All right, well, I'm going to hang on for another 5 minutes. And if anybody has questions, let me know. If you would like to do an individual chat with me, send me a message, and I can set up a Zoom one-on-one where we can talk about your specific concerns or your specific questions. Tammy, thank you so much for connecting with Karina. That is wonderful. I really appreciate that. And thank you for chiming in. It really does help to give us a little bit of credentials to know that people appreciated our degree and are working in it. I will say that I applied to work at over 100 universities. I was offered careers at multiple universities, and I turned all of them down because I really do believe in Stockton. I really do think that Stockton has a wonderful curriculum and one of the best places to study environmental science. So again, I'm just kind of sitting around here waiting for any questions. If anybody has, I'm going to type my email in the chat box. If you would like to set up a one-on-one chat with me, please just shoot me an email and I can set up a one-on-one Zoom chat with you either today or sometime in the near future. I am always more than happy to sit down with you or you and your parents. Whoever would like to sit on and chat with me, I can more than happy to talk about it with you for as long as you would like. Yeah, I know the DEP, Tammy, the DEP really does take quite a few of our interns as well. We have had a lot of success getting interns placed with the DEP. We've had a lot of interns getting success placed with a few governmental programs. The people that I see getting jobs are usually the ones, well, people that I see getting jobs with government agencies are usually the ones that did internships with the government agencies. It's the easiest way, really, to get a job is if you do the internships ahead of time. Philip, you're quite welcome. Thank you. I guess while I'm waiting, I'll show you guys a few more pictures. And again, if you are interested, I'm doing a live stream tomorrow of the USC greenhouse. Why am I getting more viewers now when it's over? Hi, everybody who's chiming in. So happy to see you. I don't know why you're coming in so late in the game, but if you are interested in the environmental science program, send me an email. My email is in the chat stream, aaron.stoller@stockton.edu, and I will be more than happy to have a one-on-one chat with you. Or you can just rewatch this video and we will hopefully see you on campus. All right, Stephen, just shoot me an email and and we'll set something up, okay? I'm gonna just show some pictures while I'm waiting for a few more people here to. Let's see. We just did a burning on campus, and so these are pictures from that burn. Some really cool stuff. If you've never seen a forest burning before, it's really, really cool. Let me share my screen here. Oops, wrong one. So this is, we're getting ready to do it and handing out all the safety gear. Sorry for the blurry picture. So they're walking right now, they're walking down a fire break, which is an area where the fire is designed to be contained. This is a heat gun to measure the heat of the soil. It gets up to, it can get up to like 500 degrees. Oh, I don't know why the pictures are so blurry. Again, we have to work in conjunction with the Forest Fire Service. Here they are experimenting with drones to get a better view of the forest fire. So this is a weather station designed to give us some real-time data on the conditions during the forest fire. This might actually be me. I'm not sure who took this picture. In any case, it's really fun to check the temperature of the ground. And if you don't know about a forest fire, like for a week afterwards, the ground is still hot. Oh, this is a student, I think, setting up a wildlife camera, maybe. Yeah, there's the money shot right there. That's the one that made all the headline news. That was a great picture. All right, all. So it looks like no more questions. Yeah, just shoot me an email if you're interested. I'm going to cut out now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you later.